I legitimately cannot believe that JT Miller just said this. Now, JT Miller has been all over the news for the wrong reasons just months after signing a huge 7-year deal with Vancouver. Now, the drama really started in the first few games of the Canucks season right after they extended him, where in his first 6 games of the Canucks, he only had 3 points, and in the first 7 games of the Canucks season, they failed to record a single win. And honestly, considering how the rest of the season would go, it seems pretty tame in comparison. Whether JT Miller was scoring or not, his defensive game was as bad as it's ever been, and that's not an understatement. It is actually embarrassing just how bad defensively he's been. And it's not even like he's really trying out there, it's just the effort is simply non-existent. And the drama really started to set in when, of course, the Canucks started to realize that Bo Horvat likely won't be re-signed after this year, which really makes that 7-year deal the Canucks gave JT Miller even more spicy and toxic, with Bo Horvat just being way better overall, being the captain and being one of the franchise's faces. Instead, they're going to have to keep JT Miller instead of Horvat, which will be a huge stain on the Canucks franchise. Now, tempers really started to flare in the Canucks versus Jets game just a few nights ago. With 1 minute to go in the third and the Canucks down by 1, JT Miller was just cycling in his own zone, and when he realized that Delia wasn't out of his net, basically went right to him, started waving him and screaming at him to get off the ice, and eventually would go right behind his net, slapping the net and making sure he went off. Instead of trying to rush up the ice and actually get offensive possession going, he decided to scream at Delia, even though it just wasn't going to happen, and forced him to go off for the empty net. Obviously, this did not end up working for the Canucks, and they would eventually lose this game. Now, what's interesting is what Bruce Boudreau said after the game, saying that he told Delia to go back in the net after initially calling for him. Colin was looking at me, and he wasn't paying any attention to JT. He's looking at me. I'm waiting for us to come up the ice a little bit to make sure we have possession. So both Bruce Boudreau as well as Colin Delia were waiting for the Canucks to at least get in the neutral zone, maybe get in the offensive zone of pressure before Delia goes off back to the bench. And that makes sense. And especially considering JT Miller's history having the puck in the defensive zone, I don't exactly blame Delia for being a little bit reserved. Now, this exchange was pretty interesting. There was a comment by Nate saying, being inside the Canucks dressing room must be painful at times. I wouldn't be surprised if JT Miller is the main reason why. And then Michael Russo, one of the most respected NHL writers out there, says, I think you're dead right. Now, in the next game versus Calgary, JT Miller didn't really do his team many favors either. You had on the first goal of the game, JT Miller giving the puck away, and then immediately Elias Lindholm up the rush is able to take advantage in the first couple of minutes of the second. But you see the effort on the back check, or lack thereof. He basically just had the body language that he knew that a goal was going to happen, and that's just super sad to see. Then you see on this chance, he gets rocked on the power play, and then just the horrible body language going back to the bench. And again, this ends up leading to a goal, not directly, but 2 Calgary Flames goals where JT Miller just is not giving the effort he needs. And this is a player who's supposed to be giving 110%, a 7-year shiny new deal this offseason, and is supposed to be a leader in this Vancouver Canucks team. He has been anything but, and the sad thing is the Canucks will probably have to trade their best leader in Bo Horvat and keep one of their worst in Miller. Now, we had a bunch of crazy quotes coming from insiders as well as JT Miller. This one from Frank Saravelli talking about JT Miller said he has kind of developed a reputation on that team for being a, well, lack of a better word, douche. It's Frank Saravelli telling us even more info on just how toxic JT Miller has become. And then I saw this quote from him directly, which just let my jaw drop to the floor. And JT Miller said this: I'd like to say my lack of production is a compliment to me, not cheating the game and playing the right way. Now, I had to actually go back and check if this quote was real, and unfortunately, it was.
I honestly thought it like the last month or so. I mean, I haven't played a lot of center, but the last couple of weeks I've been playing really well at center. I mean, I'd like to say that my lack of production is a compliment to me not cheating the game and playing the right way. You know, I haven't been on for a lot against, and you know, played a lot of hard matchups in there. And I honestly thought it like the last month or so. I mean, I haven't played a lot of center, but the last couple of weeks I've been playing really well at center. I mean, I'd like to say that my lack of production is a compliment to me not cheating the game and playing the right way. You know, I haven't been on for a lot against, and played a lot of hard matchups in there. And I honestly thought like the last month or so, I haven't played a lot of center, but the last couple of weeks I've been playing really well at center. I think to say that my lack of production is a compliment to me not cheating the game and playing the right way. Haven't been on for a lot against, and played a lot of hard matchups in there, and thought everything was coming along in the right direction. Thought everything was coming along in the right direction. Thought everything was coming along in the right direction.
But the fact that JT Miller, of all players, says that the lack of production is a compliment to me, not cheating the game and playing the right way, when has JT Miller ever really played the game the right way? He's never been a good defensive player, never has really been all too perfect physically, has never been a really clutch player at all. You go back to when Tampa traded for him. He was out within a year, and right after they ended up booting him off the team ended up winning 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups. If that's not proof against JT Miller, I don't know what is. But I just wanted to rant because JT Miller has kind of been driving me crazy over the past year, and this just was the final nail in the coffin for me. But what do you guys think about JT Miller and the quotes of everything today and how he's played this season? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think he's better than what he's shown? Do you think that it was a huge mistake signing him to the contract they signed him to? What do you think about everything about JT Miller this year? Let us know down below. And of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. So of course, share the video with all the hockey fans you guys know online, and click the card up there for all of my hockey trade content right in one playlist. My name is Nathan. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.